Hi, my name is David Poland, and I'm not running for president. Yeah, I know that's our main priority. Everyone's thinking about who they want to vote for president, and I'm not downplaying it. That is a very important thing for us to do. However, it's not the only thing on your ballot. You have local elections as well. Most people don't vote for local issues, and I think one reason is they don't know who to choose and they don't want to make a mistake. So I am competing against three other people here locally for the Clark County Charter Review Commission for District 2, Position 3. And I'm hoping you'll vote for me, David Poland. But why should you vote for me? Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the first generation to be born and raised here in Clark County, and I have no plans of moving someplace else. This is where my roots are. My family came from Ellensburg, where they moved when this was a territory. So my family has been involved in farming, being teachers, and doing all kinds of other work locally here for generations. I got my bachelor's degree in Washington, D.C. at Gallaudet University, which was quite a different living experience than here in Clark County. While I was there, I had the opportunity to have an internship in Congress and observe with my own eyes how the government works. After I graduated, I came back home. I could have easily got a job in Washington, D.C., but I want to make our county a better place. I was blessed to be chosen to be part of Leadership Clark County's 2018 class. One of the things that we did was we traveled to Olympia, and I had the opportunity to meet with a lot of our county legislators. So I learned how different it was to pass laws at the state level here in Washington State versus in Congress. This area matters to me. This particular position that I am running for is unpaid. I'm not doing this for money. So why am I doing this? I'm doing it because I believe that I'm the best person to do this. When I saw one of my friends was running for one of the positions, it just struck me. I have the skills that you need to ensure that this charter continues to work for you for the next decade. And that's the key point. Our state has it set up for a 3-member commission. But in 1948, they passed an amendment to give the people in each county the option to either go ahead with the 3-member commission or create their own home rule charters. And that might have anywhere between 3 and maybe 9 people sitting on their councils. And they would have a county manager. It has a lot of differences that you may not realize. In 2015, the freeholders that we elected, I think, tried their best to get something passed that we voters could accept because we had never tried having a home rule charter before. And I think that we, the people, did the right thing in voting yes. But having read this charter, which is 22 pages long, but the meat of it's 16 pages, I have to say there are some areas of deep concern I have. And if you elect me, I would like to work on it with the other 14 people that we elect to make it better. And here's why. There are 10 sections to our county charter. In section number 6, I found something that concerned me, and I'd like to share that with you. It's about the redistricting of boundaries. This happens after every census. I had a job recently with the U.S. Census, and I understand the enumerating process. And that data that we collected was sent to the federal government for final clarification and approval. Once that is completed and they send it to the states, our county, 2 months later, will have to set up a special kind of commission just for the redistricting according to population numbers of how many people were counted during the census. That makes sense, right? But how they go about doing it, that's where it gets a little vague. The Clark County Republicans and the Clark County Democrats each will choose 5 people that they want to suggest to the Clark County Council are the best to represent their interest for redistricting. Of those 5, only 2 from each of the parties will be chosen by the Clark County Council to represent. Now there are 4. These 4 people will then choose a 5th person to be the chair to run that commission, which is a short-term thing and again unpaid. But it is partisan and it's for redrawing the lines to ensure their interests. There are no other parties or independent people who are chosen for the redistricting of the boundaries. After those 5 people have had the expert draw out where the new lines for the districts should be, and they agree on it, that agreement must be 2/3 of the 5 people. 2/3 to pass. Is that new math? Because that's vague. Wherever there's vagueness, there's a chance for corruption. There could be a lot of confusion whether something passes or not if 3 out of 5 people said it passed. Other people may say, no, it didn't. I would be willing to debate the benefits of having a simple majority of 3 out of 5 versus a supermajority of 4 out of 5. The next area of confusion that needs to be cleared up pertains to something that I see missing from the charter, and that is clarification of where is that boundary line between what the hired county manager's roles and responsibility is and what the responsibility and roles remain for the elected county council members. For example, in 2019, I was thinking about how the Heritage Farm could work for a group of deaf people in order to teach self-sufficiency to the deaf community. I spoke with 2 other people who are deaf and deafblind about this, and we decided to set up a meeting with Heritage Farm. The interesting thing is, nobody seemed to know how to provide interpreters. However, there was a lot of confusion of what agency they were using and how that process would work. They didn't know if it was going to be a live interpreter or if it was going to be done remotely. I found out they hire from California. This wasn't going to work well, considering one of them was deaf-blind, and we were going to be walking around on a farm. So, I contacted one of our elected county council members to ask some questions about this and why we don't hire local interpreters from here and keep the money here. One of the interesting things is we have agencies, deaf-owned, locally owned agencies, walking distance from Heritage Farm. When I talked to the council member, they thought there was really nothing they could do about this. They admitted that in the past there was a lot of gutting and disorganization developed, and that is why everyone was so confused. In fact, some of them didn't even have their email addresses printed right online. Later on, I talked to another man who had a very similar experience. Completely different agency under the county. He contacted a Clark County Council representative who said they couldn't really do anything. The fact is, they probably can do something, but just don't know what. That needs addressed, and it needs to be done soon. We can't wait 10 more years to fix this, because this organization just does not belong in any government agency. So I want to work with others to define where is that line between what the council can do and what they can't do that belongs to the county manager. That's really important, as I'm sure you can agree now that I've explained this. A person that is elected to Clark County Council ought to know right away by reading the charter what their responsibilities are and how they can best represent us. If it's not in there, I don't know where it's going to be. We've had 2 county managers in 5 years, and they're no longer with us. We need to be able to hire people and retain people who know what they're doing and gets the job done. How we do this is different than the other counties that have a home rule charter. They elect their county managers. We don't. We are the only county who allows the 5 elected Clark County Council members, including the chair, to hire and fire the county manager. I am more than willing, in speaking to the people who are elected and even people who live in those other counties that have a home rule charter, to discuss the pros and cons of hiring people versus electing people to the position of county manager. "10 years. That's a long time to wait to fix mistakes. I'm known as a deep diver. I'm a detail person. I'm not a brown noser like some people are. I am not afraid to speak out if I see someone of any position, no matter who they are, to tell them what I think is right. And if elected, I will do my best to ensure that this charter is not weakened, but strengthened, so that the initiative process, the referendum process, and your ability to work with the county and talk with your county representatives is a smooth one without all the problems that we have currently. But this can only happen if you vote for local matters, and you vote for me if you happen to live in District 2 for Position 3, David Poland, me.